Wholeness family, Yogi Locs, the Ayurvedic chef. Just got done shooting the video y'all about to watch. Out here in nature on the mountain, you know, just decompressing, getting back in touch with myself, nature, getting in those good ass deep breaths, man. So now it's time to complete the day and do what we do, all right? So with that being said, man, I do thank y'all for watching this brief little mountain yoga video. Hopefully that inspires y'all to get up and run the gauntlet if you haven't already, and do what you gotta do, all right? Wholeness. So here we are, sitting in a simple cross-legged position, being conscious and aware of the breath. Taking deep breaths in, deep breaths out. I signal my hands together and put it to my head, chest, and mouth to be aware of my thoughts, my intentions, and my communications. Stretch my arms out to take in some deep breaths in a child's pose, in which I get up on my knees, transfer into a chaturanga push-up, and then a downward facing dog. Here, what I'm doing with my legs is actually stretching each hamstring out, and this is also called walking your dog. So I walk my dog for a little bit, you know, make sure they nice and happy, get nice and loose, and so they can chill, you know. Then I jump up, take a deep breath as I try to flatten my back, bend my knees slightly, forward fold, rise up, and bring my arms to my chest. I then bring my arms back up again, swing my arms down into another forward fold. I lift my head up, jump back into a chaturanga push-up, and then an upward facing dog. Another chaturanga push-up, and then a downward facing dog. I lift my right leg up and step it in between my hands, lifting my right arm up into the sky as I look up, taking deep breaths. I then put my arm down, center myself, pivot my left foot, and rise up into a warrior one. My hands are actually clasped together, and then I move into a warrior two position, making sure that I'm grounded and my left leg is solid into the ground. I then reverse my warrior and bend in a little as I reverse back the other way, placing my right arm on the ground, or hand, excuse me, with the fingertips, and swinging my left arm back to stretch out my shoulder. I stretch out or straighten my right leg, going into a triangle pose, and lift my left arm again with my head facing up, just taking in some breaths. Bending my knee and pivoting towards the front of my mat, I attempt a half moon pose. I was a little I was actually on an uneven surface, excuse me, so there you go. But I was also, even then, working to clear my mind up here. So when you're not really totally clear, that can affect your balance. I put my left arm back down and get into a chaturanga, upward facing dog, another chaturanga, and then a downward facing dog. I lift my left leg up, I pause briefly, and then I step it in between my arms, stabilizing myself, taking a deep breath. I then begin to lift my left arm, looking up at the sky. Getting in that good ass prana, baby, as Ralph Smart says. I then pivot my right foot, and then I rise into a warrior one. And yeah, I can just feel my hip unlocking with that one. I then go into a warrior two pose, and then reverse my warrior, taking in a deep breath, then reversing back the other way and trying to maintain a single line from your fingertips to your toes. You're looking up at the sky, you take a deep breath, center yourself, and then I attempt a half moon on this side. Stabilizing my left leg, you just try to straighten your right leg, and just work with what you got. Slowly get into a pose right here with my right arm behind my back, stretching out my right shoulder and heading into a triangle pose. I then lift my right arm up as I'm looking up towards the sky, and then I head back into a warrior one, down into a chaturanga push-up in the upward facing dog. Another chaturanga push-up, which I really enjoy doing, and then a downward facing dog. As you can see right there, I jump up to the front of the mat, look up, take a deep breath, forward fold. Whoa, see? Out here about to bust my ass. Okay, so then I head into a chair pose, and then I straighten my legs, putting my hands to my chest. I turn towards the side of my mat. I try to even out my legs with my toes in a little bit, and then I fold forward. Just looking to get a stretch, taking in deep breaths, allowing blood to again enter areas that become stagnant when we're sitting and standing and not moving around too much. I then move into an ancient position, which is the squat, with my hands clasped together at the heart, sending out that vibrant, radiant energy to everybody watching. And then I head into a arm balance or crow pose. You normally want to look up so you don't fall on your face. And then I head back into a squat, giving thanks. I straighten my legs and then slightly bend my knees as I put my arms in a T, lift them up, clasp my hands, and then face my palms towards the ceiling. I then begin to lift each foot up off of the mat. Just, stretching. You do it with both feet at the same time, and then you raise back up. Now you just do the lock shake, right? Shake your locks. If you don't got locks, shake your neck and head anyways, because you got to get that blood flowing through the neck again. I clasp my hands together at the heart, and then I attempt this tree pose here. This was a little challenge, especially out here, because there were so many different things to look at. My balance was a little issue at the moment. I apparently seem to be getting it together as I put my hands together and lift it to the side, but nope, there we go. I fall out of it. So then you just get right back into it, putting your leg as close up as possible. Man, I couldn't get it right there, so it's like, all right, well, I'll try my left leg, because some days you're wobbly on one side and some days you're stable on the other, and then it's vice versa. It's quite strange. But as we can see here, I am attempting it on the other side with a little bit much more success. I put my hands in the air and I'm taking in some breaths. Having a focal point to gaze on actually helps with your balance, your trishti. So then I stand in a Tadasana, mountain pose, for a brief second, and then I head towards the back of my mat, where I begin to lie flat on my back to head into a wheel pose. Now you put the crown of your head on the mat, balance yourself, make sure your elbows and arms, feet are all in alignment, and then you lift up. And then you just take in some breaths, man. That's what you do. It's really crucial and vital to really just stretch out limbs, especially for me, because I'm 6'5", so whenever I see that I'm not stretching, I get really, really stiff. So now, as I'm on my back, we work towards the core, and we just do some slight little minor core exercises. Elbow to knee, elbow to knee, elbow to knee, elbow to knee. There we go. Um, just taking in breaths, remembering to breathe, and then you place your feet towards the sky. And then I lift up for an inverted um, headstand, basically a shoulder stand, excuse me. So yeah, an inverted pose, which is called the shoulder stand. And you just allow the blood from your feet to actually rise back up into the other parts of your body, circulate back into the heart, as you're breathing. Just really allow you to feel some more energy. I then place my legs behind me and straighten them. I used to think that I would, break my neck or do something weird during this pose, but nah, once I was actually able to really get more loose, I found that pose to be much more easier, in which I then, sitting on my hands, get on my elbows and put the crown of my head on the ground so I can get in deep breaths through this fish pose, or Matsyasana as they call it. That prana was circulating, boy, I tell you. So then I get out of that, and then I hug my knees together and rock side to side, massaging the lower back. I then get into a baby pose. Yeah, just allowing myself to really get loose. It's really great on the hips right there too. I rock back up and prepare myself to get in the boat pose. So with the boat pose, initially I used to, shake tremendously as I was breathing, because I had so much blocked up energy in my lower areas that I would just shake tremendously. But luckily that went away with some practice. So then I put my feet together and I take my knees out, and I just bend with my hips. As you can see, I'm not trying to focus on bending my back. I'm just bending at the hips to allow some blood circulation. Chanel comes and meets me like, yo, what's really good? Are we doing yoga all day, or are we getting back to it? I'm like, nah, Chanel, I'm about to finish up, all right? So hang tight. So that being said, I actually, get into the Dandasana, or, I think a staff pose, where you're also, again, working your core. I lift my arms up, arrow straight, and try to ground as I, wrap my hands around my feet. 2 years ago, I was actually unable to perform this type of pose. So yoga's just been really tremendous as far as helping me out. And I know in another couple years, I'll be even lower. So there, I release myself, slide up a little bit, and get into a Shavasana pose. Not until I, rock on my lower back a little bit and massage that. And I go into Shavasana, or the corpse pose. This is a great pose to allow all the benefits of your yoga practice to soak in, as well as to free your mind from the body. I get into a cross-legged position, put my hands together for clearing loving intentions, communications, and thoughts. Namaste. Thanks for watching, fam. Have a great one.